Have you ever wondered how professional mangaka consistently produce high-quality art panel after panel? I've drawn my fair share of stick figures, boxes, shapes, creatures to count, and now I'm trying to develop my own art style. But what do pro mangaka do to maintain such high-quality art throughout every page in their manga? Well, today I'm drawing two complex characters from Berserk, and I'll share the surprising techniques I learned along the way. Hello noobs and newbies! After searching for Berserk character references and choosing which characters I should draw next, my choices came down to Schierke, and Zodd, since they are almost completely different both in size, shape, and well, pretty much every aspect of them. And yes, I know I didn't pronounce Zodd right. Here's what I learned from drawing these two characters. The first thing I learned was about character turnarounds. The second being that a lot of depth in character designs do not necessarily require a lot of shading, and I wanted to push my drawing skills further with a different approach. So, by the time this video is over, you will see this new method of drawing I tried, what I discovered about character turnarounds, drawing simpler while giving some extra depth with little shading, and applying line weight practices. Alright, let's get to it. This new method I'm attempting is not entirely new. In fact, many artists can do this, and some begin their art journey by drawing figures without guidelines. That is a tough one for me because I'm so used to my old way of drawing. And what was challenging for this method was I had to trick my brain into thinking how to draw without using my routine of setting up guides so that all the proportions are close to perfect. Normally, I started off with drawing a stick figure with circles for the head and areas of the joints like the elbows and knees, while making triangles for where the hands and feet would be. This would help me with measuring proportions accurately before drawing the figure. So when I started drawing Schierke, I was hesitant to begin because I just didn't know where to start. But then I just jumped right in and began with the top of the head, then worked my way down. What helped me was trying to remember the proportion of her head while looking at the reference image. As I started to draw from the shoulders down, I relied more on my instincts and skills. Also keeping in mind that making darker lines at the shoulders and at the bottom of the cape make those areas of the character stand out and look more realistic. Now, when I was drawing this character from the reference, I couldn't help but wonder why the same character was drawn in different angles. Common sense told me that it was a reference sheet, but I wanted to know why manga artists drew them. And I also wondered if drawing the same character in different angles could possibly be a waste of time. However, after a quick Google search, I found that it was quite the contrary. While the task itself may take a lot of time, including rough sketches, redos from editing, coloring, and more, it will accomplish a few things. First, it will be a blueprint for the artist to reference while drawing the character as they progress through the story. Much like how I'm using this turnaround as a reference for me to draw this character. Also, if let's say I had an assisting artist, they can use the reference to draw the character as well. In fact, it's not unusual for mangakas to collaborate with other artists. Mangakas like Ichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece, and the late Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, has mentioned in past interviews that they work with teams of assistants on the manga itself, color work, or other special projects. I can already imagine the anxiety of having multiple deadlines in 1 week, like finalizing pages for the most recent chapter, editing the script, making cover art, or drawing your character as a cameo for the front page of a magazine. Sounds like working all day and night for 6 or 7 days straight. No wonder these artists have back problems. Well, that is where a character turnaround will be helpful not only for myself, but it is a useful reference for an assistant as well. As I began drawing Schierke's front-facing side, I had a little difficulty in getting the anatomy of the face right, redoing the face only once to correctly position the chin, nose, eyes, and mouth. This was a lot easier to do as I didn't have to imagine the character. I was simply drawing what I saw on the reference sheet. That's when I realized the positives of having a character turnaround. I was able to draw this character in less than half the time it would take for me to use my imagination to draw them. I can just simply refer to this drawing, and I can make any corrections needed a lot quicker. So in the next few months, when I begin working on my own manga, the first thing I will be creating will be a character turnaround of my main character and a few supporting characters. Okay, here's the final result of Schierke. When I take a step back, this is where I can see how the use of minimum shading and line weight can still add depth to the character. A good example of this would be the bolden lines at the bottom of the collar as well as the coat. You may also notice this better when looking at the shading under the hat as well as the shoes. Now that Schierke is finished, it's on to drawing Zodd. Right off the bat, I encountered the same situation of drawing Schierke as I did with Zodd. I didn't know where to begin. It took me about a minute or two to actually start drawing Zodd, but once I stopped needlessly overthinking and put my pencil to paper, his face started to take shape. I believe what helped me the most was laying down the groundwork for his facial structure, like the outline of the hairs, ears, and jawline. Then following up with placing the nose, eyes, and the mouth. If you've tried drawing without guidelines before, let me know how it went for you. Or, if you've always drawn this way, what made you want to draw without guidelines? Drop your answers below. Once the upper trapezius muscles and the chest straps were sketched in, I briefly detailed the pectoral muscles and then outlined the shoulders. Then, using the placement of the chest and straps to estimate where the demon emblem would be, I began designing the insignia. A technique that I developed while drawing Zodd was using my own instruments, such as the ends of the pencil, to help me measure elements within the drawing. In this case, I was measuring the amount of space needed to draw the metal hinges on his slimming belt on both sides of his waist. I believe that it was important for me to learn how to use different methods of measuring without utilizing a ruler, because sometimes the rulers are big and clunky, and I may not always have one lying around, knowing full well that I may forget to bring one at some point. Lastly, the majority of the development in this design was not from the shadows, but from the use of line weight. If we take a closer look at his left shoulder, then look at the right shoulder, you can see the outline of the shoulder is thinner on the left. And if you look even closer, you can see the two lines defining the deltoid muscle. So this makes his right shoulder appear more defined, muscular, and strong without having to tell the audience he is a strong character. Similarly, if you look at the left arm, the bicep has a thicker line to help the eye determine it's bigger than it is. And now, Zodd is finished. Okay, so a little confession. I wasn't able to make an original Berserk character, and I will be skipping the innocent original character design because of time constraints. My worst enemy. I think I've got enough practice with the characters that I've done thus far, but next time we're tackling original character design, so don't miss it. It's going to be a whole new level of creativity, and I'll show you how I bring my characters to life. So hit subscribe, smash the like button, and drop a comment on your favorite Berserk character, and I will see you all on the next one.